Cool. Well, it
All right,
looks like three
so
o'clock.
it is 6. Yep. Um, all right, let me get this chat open real quick. Okay, let's
Sure.
do this. So we're gonna start. So everybody, welcome to Kaspa Community's very first Twitter space. I'm the host today. I'm BubbleGum Lightning, and I'm here with Wolfie. He's the business developer for Kaspa Community, and he's also a fellow contributor. Um, I wanted to make this space kind of approachable from all angles, like experienced users, new users, users that are thinking about getting into Kaspa, um, people that are just scratching the surface Kaspa and want to know a little bit more, have some questions or concerns about it. So we're going to kind of do an interview style overview with me and Wolfie, and then after that, I'm going to open up the space to questions from everybody, so we can address that. Wolfie's probably going to be doing most of the talking. I'm going to try to monitor the chat the best I can, but keep in mind this is our very first Twitter space, and I'm still new to it. Of course, this is an informal Twitter space, so anything that we talk about is subject to change. Take it with a grain of salt. Could be some inaccuracies, maybe not. We have some devs in the chat that are willing to help with any questions. So we got like support from text, and if I can't answer your question today or we don't get an answer to it, I will definitely search you out and get it. You can shoot me a message or tweet me or whatever, and I'll find that answer. So yeah, I think I squeezed out everything I want to say for the value of the space. So now I'm going to pass it off to Wolf. You want to tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. So, hey, thanks for hosting BubbleGum, and it's a pleasure to be here. I love Kaspa. I love crypto. I love technology. I'm probably around at least as old as everyone's father in here. maybe not quite as old as some people's father, but I'm a businessman on the West Coast in Newport Beach, California. So I've been involved in technology and business, family-owned business or my own corporations for about 40 years. So I have a lot of experience with how things work, even up to on a global basis. Like I had a computer chip wholesale company where we brokered transactions and we would import chips from all over the world and send them back out all over the world. So I've been doing general business for a long time. And I also have a business telephone company, kind of like Vonage or Ring Central, that I started in 2012. So I'm also, highly familiar with networks in general, global networks, having a network up or down and interacting and interops and all that kind of stuff. But I'm not, in the grand scheme of things, compared to the guys that created and programmed Kaspa or a lot of other cutting edge projects, I would probably just know enough to be dangerous, as they would say. I'm not a developer. I never invented anything in technology. I just have so much experience with it that like if you've ever gone to a good doctor that has like, a long time being a doctor, and they can kind of sense, they have a sixth sense with what's wrong with you without doing an MRI or an X-ray or whatever, or taking a blood test. They're just like, they know what the problem is, I kind of have that with technology. I never programmed anything like from scratch, but I can tell when, any system, a car, a computer, a network, a thermostat, a guitar, a stereo, I can just feel it kind of by now. And so I have a pretty good idea what's going on with something, and I don't usually have to read the directions to figure out how to use anything. So that's me. And I started mining Bitcoin in 2011. I heard about it on World of Warcraft. Somebody told me it's like WoW Gold that you can send outside of the game. So I was like, oh, all right, let's see. And then when I found out you couldn't buy swords and shields with it, I was over it. I was like, I'm going to shut this thing off. I'm losing $3 a week on electric. So that was silly. I didn't.
Yeah, I think a lot of us have that kind of story.
Yeah.
Where we had that opportunity and didn't take it serious.
Yeah, exactly.
That's probably why a lot of us are actually looking at Kaspa right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man. So not to put anyone to sleep with my story or anything, but just that's my background. So I've been in technology a long time, and I've been in crypto a long time, and I love it.
Awesome. So I actually did get what I was doing for Kaspa. I'm just a contributor. I write Medium articles. and I distribute these Medium articles throughout the Kaspa network. He just reminded me when he just explained his title. So the first question I'm going to ask is, what attracted you to Kaspa?
Okay, so it's pretty much like attracted to shiny object story. There's we have a great guy named Jimbo who's he's one of our mods in Telegram main chat. He's the only guy I know in crypto who's older than me, by the way. He's out in Georgia, and he's a good guy. We met spec mining a different coin in like 2018. And then we met back up on another coin, like probably in 2019 or later in 2018. And then we would stay friends, and we would jump in on like CPU coins when they first launched. And he really loved combing through Bitcoin talk, looking in the announcements page. And for me, I was too burnt out. There was too many tokens and nonsense, super triple bullshit coin, nonsense things. So I couldn't pay attention long enough. But then one day, last November, so like 14 months ago, he pops up, "Hey buddy, how you doing? Hey, I found this new project. It's really interesting what they're trying to do." And somehow I got to look at that KGI, the graphical, the visual block inspector, and I saw these parallel blocks going by. I think everybody knows what I'm talking about. If you don't know, just go to kgi.caspad.net and you'll see what I'm talking about. I've posted the little GIF of it a million times. You must have seen it if you're following us by now, hopefully. But anyway, I saw these, like there'd be 1 block, then 3 blocks, then 2 blocks, then 5 blocks, then 4 blocks. And I was like, oh my God. My gut reaction from being in crypto so long and seeing so many like scam, gimmick, novelty, like trying to look cool, but it's really nonsense things. My first reaction was like, all right, this is nonsense. This is like some semi-slick programmer in a basement. He figured out how to make blocks more than one at a time. It's probably going to run for a week or two, and it's going to go off the rails. The network's going to break. He's not going to know how to fix it, and it's going into zero. Then, about 5 minutes later, I heard like founders at Harvard. I was like, hey, wait a second. Then about 5 minutes after that, I heard the founders mentioned in the Ethereum white paper. And I was like, hey, wait a second. Maybe it's not the guy in the basement. Maybe this thing's for real. And then I kept digging a little more, and I got to know the guys, and talk with them in chatting one by one. And it was readily apparent that it was super new, cutting edge technology. It was a breakthrough technology. The same feeling I had when I found Bitcoin, the same feeling from Ethereum. And that's about it. There's only 3 coins that are breakthrough technology that I'm really aware of. Aside, there's some cool things like Monero, privacy, that to me, that's still sort of not, I wouldn't call it really a gimmick, but it's the original thing. It's Bitcoin, except no one can, you don't, track the transactions that easily, right? So, but it's not, but it's like a bolt-on novelty item, but it's still just Bitcoin, So there's Bitcoin, Ethereum has smart contracts, and Kaspa has parallel blocks, So it's finally, instead of just being like a sidewalk where you have 1 block at a time and it's like a walking pace for transactions, you have like a freeway. You have, multiple lanes going on for transactions to jump into a block and propagate through the network. So it's pretty neat. So when I realized all of that, I go, yep, this is something new. Better pay attention.
Yeah, actually, kind of similar story with me when I saw that KGI visualizer. Man, that thing's like a gateway drug.
It is.
Like, you see that thing, and it is mind-blowing. And now you're trying to think with like the Rust rewrite, that's going to speed up.
Exactly.
And you're just like, wow, that's going to be wild.
Exactly, yeah.
So on the Kaspa side of things, the Kaspa community side of things, what do you do as a business developer?
So that's a great question. So basically, I kind of came into the role of helping Kaspa just be adopted or added to various types of platforms like mining pools, exchanges, hardware wallets, things like that. And any other place where we could be listed, like Coin Market Cap. I got going with the help of JWJ. He's a great community programmer and helper. So to integrate with them, it's a long process to get really stamped in good there, where they're checking our supply like on a probably like a 30-second or a 1-minute basis. So to be verified and get into that top 300 where we're at right now, and to have their, when you look at the circulating supply, it's updated by checking in with our nodes and our API and stuff like that. So that takes work. So that's an example too. And whenever we change something, we add a new exchange. Like if we get listed on a new exchange, I have to tell CoinMarketCap, like, hey, we have this new pair over here. So that's kind of also what it would be.
That kind of parallels what you do with like your technology company that you started yourself, right?
Sure. Yeah. Just in general,
like bringing that experience into it.
Yeah. Just having a business sense, knowing how to just communicate on a. I could be real street and slang and degen like way, like hardcore, but when I can switch channels, change channels to being very professional, and especially on paper. So I can write like a proposal or an inquiry letter nicely. So it sounds like they're talking to not really a moon boy, maybe somebody who's supposed to be asking the question or whatever. Yeah. So not that I'm not also a moon boy. I mean, I want everything to go up, of course. It's great, but
yeah, who doesn't?
Yeah.
I mean, it's important to be able to shift gears like that, be able to relate with all your audience.
Sure.
Like the everyday users and the business side.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's move on to Kaspa. So what is Kaspa's use case or mission or main goal?
Okay, so coming all the way from the top, and I mean the tippy top, that means Jonathan Sampolinsky, our fantastic founder. I asked him like, what's our founding purpose, or what's our prime directive? I asked him like last spring or something. He's actually also has a lot of articles on Medium, and he pointed me to one, and he basically said like, this is the thing I love about Jonathan. Well, I love a lot of things. I love what he's created, and how he can have such a tremendous helicopter view of the whole industry. From the underneath side, the technology side, he gets the whole thing, and then from the above side, like the end user, thing and the exchanges and what's going on, he gets that whole thing too. So that's amazing. But anyway, the thing, I have a few things in common with him, very few. Like, we both love Kaspa, and we're both twitchy ferrets. And what I mean by that is, so if you read this one Medium article that he pointed me to, he hates waiting. He's like, when Google takes 2 seconds to give me an answer, I can't stand it. And I'm like that too. Like, I want the answer right now, like right now, no. So I'm like that too. I like things to happen like snappy. So the first reason why he wanted, the main thing of Kaspa is speed. Like, and I think I'm paraphrasing here, but if you think about it, like Google is instant. Like when you go and you hit it to watch something on Netflix, like, can you imagine if it took 10 minutes to start a movie on Netflix? That would be horrible. Can you imagine if it took 15 minutes for Google to give you a search result? Nobody would do it, right? Practically, unless you were doing like a research paper or something. So the question is, why is crypto like 15 minutes or 15 seconds? 15 seconds is still pretty long. Why can't it be right now? And that's what Kaspa already does right now. It's like right now, like a second. You send it from the web wallet to the mobile wallet, and it's right now. You see it there, and you can use it in 10 more seconds. Perfect.
It seems like in America, we use a lot of drive-throughs. Could you imagine having to wait 15 seconds for a transaction?
Yeah.
It'd be like nugget rage all over the place.
Exactly. Yeah. Nugget rage, or in that store, Whole Foods or Vons or whatever you got, or checking out, whatever. Can you imagine a line and you're waiting 15 seconds for the, you scan the QR code and blip, wait, it didn't confirm yet. Oh yeah, everyone's buying JPEGs right now. Sorry. You're telling the line like it's going to take like 90 seconds till this transaction is accepted by the miners. Sorry guys, I didn't use enough gas. Like, it's never going to work, But Kaspa, it just works right now. It's the first coin ever that you could really go shopping with in real life, in real time, in person.
Yeah, it's amazing. So And in that fact, to tag on to the speed, so Kaspa is much different than most blockchains in the fact that it's not really a blockchain. It's a block DAG. What is a block DAG?
Okay, so part of this is above my pay grade. No, not really. But I mean, the real technical of how it works and everything is pretty complicated. That's why it took, you know, the people that made it up 4 years to create it. But in general, so a blockchain is just, if you picture a straight line with a dot every 10 minutes, that's Bitcoin. It's, you know, there's only one block at a time. And the word DAG at the end of block DAG stands for directed acyclic graph. And that's just a math phrase or like a description of a way of grouping objects together in mathematical terms, I guess, or programming terms. So that DAG itself is not created, or it's not from crypto. It was, I believe it's been out at least since the 80s or the 90s. So it's a way of linking data together. So it just means more than one glop at a time. So all of a sudden, instead of having a one-dimensional, like a straight line with dots, you can have 2 at the same time. You can have 5 at the same time. So it allows, so when you make a DAG with blocks, which is the first one in existence, now bear in mind, people think a DAG is a DAG. And by structure, it's true, but the DAG projects that already exist, like Constellation, they don't have the blocks that are mined in a DAG structure arranged. They arrange the transactions in a DAG, but it's not by block. So there's a couple more that do it too. I think IOTA maybe, I'm not sure though. But anyway, so Kaspa is the first block DAG. So when you look at that kgi.kaspad.net, you're watching the block DAG live as the blocks propagate in the global network and are produced by miners and accepted by the nodes, and they're filling out this great structure. So it just enables higher throughput, and that's the trick of it. You know, if you look at almost anything that is like the newer, faster way of doing things, it has more than one at a time. So to have serialized or sequential transactions or data isn't the new fast way of doing anything. Like if you have cable at your house and it's like 500 meg or gig cable, it has like, you know, you probably have a modem with like 32 streams or 16 streams or something, you know, so those are 16 separate and parallel data paths, you know, and so we have the same thing going on with blocks. Instead of one block at a time, we can have 16 blocks at a time. We can have 10, we can have 8, we can have 5. So that's what it's all about.
Cool. So, and if you guys do look at this block DAG visualizer, you'll see it kind of like branches out like a tree, and then it has like a reverse action where it goes back down to a block and like it opens up, and it just keeps widening and closing and widening. It looks like it's breathing and living. It's really amazing.
It is.
You actually see it. So this is going to be a good question the audience is probably all waiting for. Where are we with Rust, or as the professionals would say, when Rust?
Sure, the when. I knew this was a when. So I checked in with Sir Sutton. That's Michael Sutton. Now there's no team, there's no core, there's no lead developer, there's no lead core developer. But if there was, it would be Michael Sutton. Okay, so I checked in with him. If there was, it would be Michael Sutton. So I checked in with him yesterday, and I didn't when Rust him. I was chatting and just minorly, and then he offered up the. He said things are converging nicely, just a little more. So that's what he told me. Two mini sentences, and then he pointed me to a GitHub, a GitHub link of where he said this is where I'm working. So he's working hard, and I know Ori is also. If you're not familiar with Ori, if you haven't heard that name yet, Ori I would say is like co-lead developer. He's fantastic. Between Sutton and Ori, both those guys are. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. They're fantastic. So yeah, so it's getting very close. And the more important thing to realize is it's not going to be like a light switch. Like when they say, okay, Rust is done, it's not going to be just done and turned on and all of a sudden we're 32 blocks per second. It's not going to be this like lighting up the Christmas tree thing. It's going to be in stages, and it's going to be a transition for months. It's going to at least take months to get from Golang right now to the next thing after that would be Golang and Rust. So the two different versions of nodes running on this at the same time, and the Rust one talking to Golang and being able to sync with it and help do consensus and confirm blocks. That's the first stage. And then at some point, they're going to want to raise the blocks per second. So when they do that, that would probably be a fork. And they're going to go to maybe 4 blocks per second or 8 blocks per second. That's when it's going to start to get interesting. Once they just have Rust and Golang at the same time, nothing that interesting. I mean, there'll be subtle, like geek things interesting behind the scenes, but no real user experience, like instant bump once a Rust is on mainnet. Anyway, but once they go up to 4 or 5 or 8 or 10 blocks per second, then it's going to be interesting because, for one, the KGI.Kaspa is going to be happening, that many times faster per second. So right now you see 1 block per second, but if we go to 8 blocks per second, you're going to see 8 blocks popping on the screen every second on average. So that freeway going by is going to get thicker and it's going to get faster, and that's just showing the, every little block, every square you see on there, that's like, I think of it, a block is like a Ziploc bag for transactions to jump in. So when you send coins to somewhere on anything, on Bitcoin or ETH, you try to send coins, it goes into the mempool. That's just like this transaction attempts that's floating around on the network. And then miners see those and they scoop some up and they stuff them in a Ziploc in a sandwich bag. And when they win a block, they zip it closed and it gets bolted onto the blockchain, or in our case, the block DAG. So every time, if you see 8 times more blocks going by, that's 8 times more little sandwich bags that can hold transactions. So that's how the TPS and the blocks per second will increase once we increase the block time.
So in rough, like the main goal here is we're looking for that BTS, or increasing that BTS, and Kaspa seems to prioritize the BTS over the TPS.
Sure.
Now, why is that?
Yeah. So like I'm for me to understand things that guys like our guys create, I have always made up analogies to enable myself to understand things in a regular guy kind of way. So to me, the way I just think of it is like the transactions per second. You'll hear these wild claims by other projects like 480,000 transactions per second, or 120,000 transactions, 100K, or whatever. These giant numbers, So and then, but wait, how long do you have to wait for it to be accepted or to be confirmed? Like, if you send somebody something, how long does it take until it's really published on the network, on the blockchain or the block, whatever it is. So I think of it like the US mail, or like it could be any mail. I don't know what the mail is called in other countries, but in America, obviously it's a US Postal Service. And like, I don't know how many letters they can process a day. Maybe they could do 10 million letters a day, right? So, hey, that sounds pretty good. Maybe they could do 50 million letters a day, like when it's the holidays or something. But wait, that doesn't really matter, because you still have to wait 5 days for the letter to get there. So I don't care how many, if they could do 1 million or 10 million or 100 million. If I want to send something to New York, it still takes 5 days, and that's not great, right? So you still have to use FedEx if you want to get a letter somewhere overnight. So with Kaspa, we like the blocks to happen quick, because we want the transactions to be on the network fast, so that user, that like Google like instant result feature is there, so that we have crypto now suddenly running at the speed of the internet, like everything else on the internet.
Yeah, and in that case with the mail, when it hits the final destination, so if like Wolfie's receiving the letter, when he actually receives the letter, that's the confirmation, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a general analogy. It's really Shai, our one of our experts. He likes to point out that confirmations are they're subjective. They're like in the eye of the beholder. So like, for example, we know this like MEXC, our largest exchange we're on, they're being, highly cautious because of the new technology, and they decided in the beginning when they first added us that they wanted to wait 3,600 blocks until they consider it like locked in. So if you send coins to MXC that you want to trade, you have to wait 3,600 seconds on average, which is an hour, But like me personally, like if I go, hey, I'm selling a guitar, you want to buy it for 10,000 Kaspa? And you send me 10,000. When I see it hit my wallet, once it locks in after 10 blocks, then I consider that confirmed, because I know there's like 110,000 miners, or I don't know how many miners we have now. But when we were at 500 terahash or whatever it was, when we were at our all-time high of mining, which we're not too far under, we might be at 350 or 400 now. But we had like 110,000 miners or something. So once it shows as confirmed on the KDX or the web wallet or the now on the nice new mobile wallet, that means 10 blocks. It's buried. Your transaction is buried under 10 blocks. So to undo that isn't that easy. Fighting against having more than 110 GPU miners, and nobody even really understands the technology enough to probably do it anyway right now. So I would consider it much less. So it might be. I hope I didn't make it more confusing, but yeah. So
no, that's fine. I'm actually glad you brought up the MEXC thing, because that is a big question.
Yeah.
So MEXC functions absolutely fine. It's actually a huge exchange, but they like to have these extra confirmations because they're such a new coin that they want to make sure everything's like squared away, because they don't want they're pretty much just mitigating risk.
Yeah, like CYA
confirmation.
Cover your ass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's only on like withdrawals and deposits, right?
It's only on deposits. So when you're putting coins up there, they don't want to happen is you put 2 million coins up and you get, a Bitcoin or a half a Bitcoin or whatever, and then you withdraw the Bitcoin. And then all of a sudden we're like, oh yeah, like we found an exploit, and there's really actually somebody found a way to send coins twice, and sorry you guys, but the Bitcoin you just let somebody take off, yeah, you kind of lost on that one. Sorry about that, but we patched it. It's all good, bro. So that's what they're trying to prevent. They don't know our developers. They don't know our devs like we know our devs. So but it's just earned trust. It's part of being pioneering tech, and sooner or later people will know, like, yeah, man, like Bitcoin is considered, most exchanges will let you play with your Bitcoin after 1 or 2 blocks, 1 or 2 confirms, which still comes out to 10 or 20 minutes. But still, it's not too bad. They have a lot more hash rate than us, but they're obviously the granddaddy of all time, Bitcoin. So we can't contest that.
So now we're talking about actually withdrawing and depositing your funds. Another big question that everybody wants is where are we at with Ledger? Okay,
the world famous Ledger. So Ledger is obviously like a household name when it comes to hardware wallets. So Ledger doesn't really add stuff themselves very easily. What they do is they provide the tools like the SDK, Software Developers Kit, and examples of existing coins that are supported by them. And then you have to either hire a third party that specializes in that, which usually costs around $30,000, or you have to have developers that are sharp and can do it themselves. So we're super fortunate to have one of our guys named Elikai. He's a big Bitcoin developer, so he works on Bitcoin Core also, the Bitcoin real repository. So he's highly versed in crypto and programming, and he generously, after he heard of our dilemma with trying to contemplate crowdfunding $30,000 to get on Ledger, to pay someone to get us on Ledger, he volunteered to do it for a fraction of that, which turned out to be, I think, 1 million Kaspa. So we crowdfunded that pretty quick. So we paid him. He said the work would take about a month, and that was like around Thanksgiving, like November, I think we paid. Or we didn't pay him. We raised it and we have it locked up until he gets paid when it's completed. Then he was unaware, but he has some previous engagements or some things that are more pressing in his to-do list that came up. So he apologized, but he said it's going to take him 90 days to do it instead of 30 days. And I think he gave us that number probably like around New Year's or something. So I would say we could probably got maybe 6 to 8 weeks left until he's got, the test version ready for Ledger to look at. I think you upload once you get it working, so he'll get it working in test mode or whatever, he'll upload it, and then Ledger scopes it out a little bit, or maybe not even. They let you use it in like dev mode or something. They have some name. It's like developer mode or test mode. And then so once you activate developer mode on your Ledger, then you'll see other applications that haven't been screened by them yet. And one of those someday will be Kaspa. Then you can try it with Kaspa. I wouldn't put all your stuff on it, although Elikai he's the champ. I don't think there's going to be any problems with anything he releases. And then once they get around to it, so there's a long list. Like every project in the world is trying to get on Ledger. So there's a lot, dozens at least of other projects that will be simultaneously or will have recently put their version of Ledger on the like check us out please, test mode spaces, right? So Ledger one by one goes through and does a security audit and they check it out, and that usually takes about another 3 months. So the long and the short of it is probably 6 to 8 weeks until we get a dev mode version from Elikai, and then maybe like 4th of July or the middle of summer till we get to see it like in the Ledger, everything like not in dev mode version.
Okay, so and then along with Ledger, so we're making progress on Ledger, but it is a process.
Sure.
But we do have some good news when it comes with mobile wallet.
That's right.
So where are we at with mobile wallet?
So in mobile, we have mobile is almost similar to the way that it works with Ledger, in that like you create this thing and first you have to test it out on iPhone, and you have to test it out on the Androids, the Galaxies and everything. And then once you're through the beta phase, then both of the individual platforms like the iTunes App Store or whatever that's called, and then the Google Play Store for Android, they have to like approve it and make sure it's not a virus or something, and then you're in. So right now we're on beta, and I think it's version 2. So you can run it on your Android or your iPhone right now and use it. I've been using it since before beta 2, and I haven't had any problems. I haven't put a whole pile on there. It's not recommended to put your whole stack on there until it's in a release version. But for right now, if you want to put 1,000 coins, 10,000 coins, try it out, send some from your web wallet to the phone and send it back to the web wallet. It runs like a top for me and everybody else that has been trying it out in the Discord mobile wallet channel, and it's pretty neat. So yeah, I don't know the timeline, but I would anticipate as soon as we get another couple of weeks maybe of everybody using it. And by the way, the more people we have using it and reporting bugs, then or reporting no bugs at all, then the sooner will be, I think our developer Azbuky, his name is Azbuky, the sooner he'll be able to declare it like a production the first release version. And then maybe that'll be submitted to the Play Store and the iTunes Store.
That's awesome. And I mean, I use a mobile wallet now, like switching between Telegram and Discord wallets. And man, that thing is clean. It works like a charm.
It really does, yeah.
Like, you wouldn't know it was early access.
No, you wouldn't. And it's so lightweight. Like when I hit the icon, it's almost like it was running already. Like it's not loading anything up. I mean, obviously, all mobile wallets, don't store the block information. They're just checking in with a remote server that already has that database synced up, right? But still, I mean, it shows your balance right there. It doesn't do the spinner for like 3 seconds until it checks the balance. And when you send and when you receive, it's like snap. It's just like what Jonathan's vision was. It's like insta, and that's what we already have. I mean, like really, even if we didn't have Rust almost done and Dag Knight was never thought of and conceived and already paid for, and proved on paper in a research paper mathematically and mathematically wise that to be possible, we already have fantastic technology. even if we stayed exactly how we are right now and just figured out smart contracts, we'd still be great as far as I can tell. But to have all of these, you know, back-to-back upgrades coming that are revolutionary, you know, world first and the best in class and breakthrough is unbelievable. I can't believe that more people don't realize how great it is.
And so we're kind of switching into the second half of this.
Sure.
So I'm going to ask you just one last question. At this very moment, if you were like in complete control of Kaspa, you like, let's say you like, it's completely centralized. You owned it. It's all yours. It's your call. And if you have the roadmap in mind, like that's planned and set, what would your very next step be for Kaspa?
Okay, well, so you mean things that aren't on the roadmap, or what would I put an emphasis on, or?
So the things that are on the roadmap aren't a choice.
Are not a choice.
Does that make sense? They're not a choice.
Okay, well, I mean, I think they pretty much thought of everything. The only thing, I mean, so I'm not creative or you know, enough in this area to think of something that's missing. Like they thought of everything already, if that makes sense. You know? Yeah, like I would never.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
That's actually a really humbling answer, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like that,
but
you can really appreciate that.
But the one thing I would say is like, what my hope, just to be more relevant. Obviously, there is no boss of Kaspa, and I'm not in a position to invent anything new for it. So my hope is, and my wish, like the only thing that I hope next for Kaspa is I hope, and I'm confident that, you know, that the right pick will be made. But you know, like I was mentioning, my extensive history with technology overall, and usually when a lot of different types of technology, when a new thing or a new like a hurdle is debuted or whatever, it's like backwards compatible. So where I'm going with this is, like with smart contracts, I know we're adding them, you know, it's on the roadmap and there's been conversation about it since at least last spring. You know, some people say like EVM, like Ethereum compatible virtual machine or whatever, that EVM is slow, or, you know, that it's not great and everybody has it already. But on the other hand, everybody has it. And like, so if you make it easy for people to take their existing smart contracts and start running them on Kaspa, then that's also great. But I would hope they could come up with a way like where it can run them, or there's some bridge or conversion like module that where you can run old style, or you can run our new bitchin' way that's 17 times faster also. Like, you know, something like that, to where the old style can still work, like backwards compatible with EVM, but we also figured out a way to do it 22 times faster also. So in case you feel like first getting it going on the old style while you work on, you know, the upgraded version in the background, or we can help, or something like that. You know what I mean? That's what I think would be great.
Oh, nice. That's a great answer.
Thanks.
And it kind of reinforces the network and speeds things up. I mean, that's everybody's goal right now. It's always when.
Sure.
In the crypto space, it's really fast moving.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think everybody's on the same page when it comes to that. So, are you ready to move on to some questions and concerns from the audience?
Yeah. Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, you got time for that, right?
Yeah, I totally do. My kid's still totally drilled into iPad, so it's working.
Okay.
All right.
Perfect. Okay, so I wanted to hit on something, but I forgot.
So,
all right, Julian, I see you on the list first, so I'm going to bring you in.
Great.
Hey, Julian, you there?
Hey, guys. You hear me?
Yeah.
Yep, we can hear you.
Hey, thanks for the great space. Really appreciate that. So yeah, I mean, I just had a question about MEXC and the market maker. Like, do you guys have? I'm guessing we still own the market making on it, and it's collecting funds. Like, what are those funds being used for, and do we have like the address for it, or what's the plan on using those funds?
Yeah, so there's no we don't have a market maker. right now. We did for the first month because that was a term and condition of our listing. But after the first month, we decided to discontinue that service. So at the moment, we don't have a market maker. So that doesn't mean that MEXC doesn't have their own market maker, or whales might be employing the use, or bots of their own. There's there's always something going on when you start to get to a noticeable market cap or whatever. But yeah, there is nothing. There was talk. There was some exchange account or something, but nothing ever came of it that I'm aware of. So it kind of fizzled, and yeah, there's no direct contribution to the dev fund or from anything that's happening on MEXC right now that I'm aware of.
Okay, so maybe that could be up for discussion to get a market maker up, and maybe that could bring in some passive income. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know if that's possible, but
No, that's a great idea. I'm glad you suggested it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so I'm going to move on to the next speaker,
Excellent.
and it's not Bryson, I think. I hope I didn't butcher your name. Hey, not Bryson, you there?
I'm actually working from home on a break in about 5 minutes. Would you be able to pass me and come back in 5?
I can remove you. You'll have to request again.
Okay.
But that's fine. I'll put you back in the queue.
Thank you.
Yep.
Hey, there's a queue. I like that.
Yeah, it's actually a queue. It's pretty nice. So next is Blake. Hey, Blake, you with us?
Paging Blake.
Hey, what's up?
Paging
What's up?
Blake.
What's up? Thanks for
Hey.
thanks for letting me speak. I just wanted to give a shout out to the Kaspa community and making it for all the fellow miners that are in the audience. About a week ago, I transitioned to start mining Kaspa, and I've seen a lot of how this algorithm in the blockchain for Kaspa is way, 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 way more efficient than any other algorithm for, especially on the GPU wise. Um, the equipment that I have, I'm at around like 300 GPUs, almost like in a like a server room, and it's the best decision ever to start mining Kaspa, and it's the lifespan of the GPUs will be prolonged by I don't even know how many years because of the temperatures compared to heavy power consumption. And that's what I just wanted to share. And it's just amazing that and that it's a significant difference going from, I don't know, let's say like the Ravencoin algorithm or something power intensive, and especially right now with inflation and power prices being extremely inflated, um, it's I recommend everyone switching over to Kaspa and start mining Kaspa. But that's all I've got.
Hey, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Then you add that in with like the non-orphan blocks, or like the non-existent orphan blocks, and we're just like squeezing efficiency out of it.
Yeah, it's
true.
it's great. Like I wish you guys could be in the room with all these GPUs and seeing the temperature, just feel the temperature difference from Kaspa to a different algorithm. Like it's noticeably different feeling the heat wise and heat circulation. And that right there just makes me so happy.
Change the whole climate.
Like that right there just makes me
awesome.
so happy because I'm like, oh man, in a bear market and stuff like this, it's going to make the lifespan of the cards last even longer. And that's what you want from a mining perspective, is to make, first of all, ROI, and then to prolong your equipment to stay alive. And then as well, also contributing back to the community and seeing all the huge developments that all developers are making. And I mean, Kaspa 100% has the ability to absolutely go to the moon. And I really believe it.
Awesome, man.
Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, we love
Just wanted to give a quick shout out.
I
really didn't have a question. I just love Kaspa, which I think everybody
No
here
worries.
does.
Hey, we appreciate it. You know, he's mentioning K heavy hash. that's our oh wait, the iPad's something happened. Relax, bunny. Daddy's talking to somebody. Okay. Okay. Watch TV. Sorry. He's mentioned K heavy hash. So we're really fortunate they picked K heavy hash, and it happens to really run really light, like cool and low wattage. So that was a gift from the universe that it worked out that way.
Yeah, thanks for the show, Blake. All right, so next is
Yep.
going to be the trade it up or down. Hey, trade it up or down, you there?
Huh. Hey, trade. I see trade, but I don't show him as a Oh wait, there he goes. He moved into position. Maybe.
Yeah, it's like bouncing around. You there, trade?
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay,
There we go.
we got
Yeah,
you.
hi mate. Yeah, I'm just from London. First and foremost, I love Kaspa. I've been in it from the early days. I think it's an amazing project. Blah blah blah. But I noticed you said something earlier on about trying to get more people to know about it, and I'm always trying to spread the word. I'm like, yeah, man, have you heard of Cas and all that kind of stuff? And I'm just thinking like down the road, what's kind of look like for other exchange listings to try and get that sort of more people, kind of aware of Cas and things.
Sure. Yeah. So we have applications into pretty much, I would say, maybe most of the top 20 exchanges, and we have open dialogue going with a lot from 100 to 20. By coin market cap exchange rank, or it's a little different between CoinGecko and coin market cap. But anyway, so we have a lot of listings in. It takes a long time. I mean, I always say the bigger the fish, the slower they move. So the big boys like Binance and Coinbase, I mean, it could take a year or 2 or 3 for them to start even acknowledging you, or at least 6 months. So that takes a long time, and then it takes some of them costs a lot of money as well. So when we get the opportunity, we're gonna when the time is right and we have the right opportunity, then we're gonna have a crowd fund for something that's really worthwhile. But until then, I don't think spending tens of thousands of dollars to get on something worse than MEXC by rank is really going to get us anywhere. We're working on the development and the releases. We're still growing organically as a community. We're appearing on multiple platforms, and there's a lot more that are going to come out pretty soon. So not including exchanges that we're aware of, like mining pools and hardware wallets that'll help spread us. So it's happening. It's a little frustrating when you're a fair launch coin with no giant foundation wallet, because you don't get to pay to be on Binance the first day you come out, like tokens and stuff. But on the flip side, once we start rising, it's real growth, and we're not going to drop off hopefully too sharply. It'll be that log growth curve that technology adoption follows. So that's what we're really going for.
Awesome. And MEXC is actually not that small of an exchange. It's pretty huge, and
It's pretty decent.
You can use it without KYC. So you can do KYC purchases on there, but you can also use it without, and use it like just a regular exchange.
True.
Okay, so I got Not Bryce again. See if we can get him in.
Yeah.
Hey, Not Bryce, you there?
I was worried I wouldn't be able to pop back in. How are you guys doing?
Great.
Good.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday. Hope everyone has a good long weekend. I just wanted to say, first of all, I forget his name, but someone mentioned the power consumption at Kaspa. I did read about that. It was cool to hear that reiterated, because I know that was a big deal with Bitcoin mining. And like the power consumption that it was taking up was a problem. So I hope that can be, not an issue with Kaspa. My main question, though, I have been wanting to get into learning, what skills, like learning certain skills to get into, like working in blockchain, hashtag technology, whatever you call it. I was going to begin with learning Rust and etc., but I am struggling to, know where to start or where to begin. There's no actual jobs around. And I'd like to learn. I'd like to know generally what skills you guys would recommend someone getting into wanting to work in the field should maybe focus on?
Sure, that's a great question. So unfortunately, I'm not exactly the guy that can tell you a concise answer, other than all of our guys that although there's no team and there's no core, everybody in the core, not including me and marketing, they've been going to school pretty much their whole lives. So the first clue to me would be like taking computer science, even if you go start with some programming, unless you already know other languages and stuff. But if you're not, if you don't know how to program anything yet, I would start like even taking like one class a week in community college, and
Of course.
it does. Yeah.
I want to
Something like that.
recommend, if anyone else is considering the same thing, that's pretty much where my head was at too. There's this course on edx.org. It's a HarvardX free course. Covers Python, C#, and a bunch of other languages. It's
Yeah.
very introductory. It's amazing. So I might just
You
do
probably
that.
don't. Yeah, you don't even need to leave the house most likely these days. So yeah. Start learning in general, and then you can begin to specialize and dig into to crypto.
That would make
the
sense.
Crypto realms.
That makes sense. Cool.
Sure. Whoops. You guys still there? Huh. Are you guys there still? Yoo-hoo.
Yep, I'm here. Can you hear
Okay,
me?
sorry. Yeah, now I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I had a little problem there. I lost him. I hope I didn't cut him off.
Whoops.
I wanted to add to that community college thing, or the further in the education thing. If you hop into Discord too, on the Kaspa Discord, you can really observe some serious progress going on, and the devs are really active. So, I mean, if you want to like try to do the observe and learn as they go, I would really recommend that. And there's some really great devs in the Discord. So I got one
There
more that
really
wants to speak. And it's Cora Puri. Let's get him in here. And then this is the last one in the queue, and then we can do like a last call.
Sure.
You got time for that? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Cora Puri, you there?
Hi guys, myself Kolabri Miner. So am I audible first of all?
Hi, boss. How you doing?
Yeah, okay. So first of all, I am a miner from India. Right now here it's like 4 in the morning. So I've been waiting for your AMA for like from last 3 days. So first of all, thank you for managing all these things, Twitter space. So for me personally, I am a miner, and I mine only those coins which I can understand specifically. So I am from a finance
Sure.
background, but I have a good quantity of cards with me, around 40. So what I do, I mine only those coins which I can, understand, and as well as I can explain to another guy of my same age, of around 16 to 17-year-old kid. So I can explain that guy also what Kaspa is really. So for me, my first question is that, guys, because first of all, I have seen always that crypto is not being advertised in the media, if you see as a whole. But Kaspa as a currency, we can understand it really easily. So, do you guys have thought about that? Will you be advertising Kaspa as a currency or the digital silver, or you will be advertising a Kaspa as another coin, or you may say another option to BTC or such other things? So, my question is that.
Sure. It's a little difficult to understand, but I think in a general way, you're saying like, do we have any plans to advertise, like marketing maybe, or
Yeah.
or are you saying?
I mean to say that.
Yeah. So.
Go on.
Oh no, just we don't have really a marketing budget because we didn't have an ICO or anything. So unless there's a lot of projects that sold coins in the beginning or sold tokens, which we didn't do that. We did it like Bitcoin. we started from scratch, and every coin in existence, somebody dug it out of the ground, so to speak. So they don't want to really just give it away for free very often. That's what crowdfunding is. When we chip in to have a programming upgrade, that's a different story. But we right now, we don't pay for advertising. So we don't have anything like that. We have to rely on people like YouTube channels hearing about it and like, wow, this sounds like something interesting. Maybe I should look into it and do a little story on YouTube about it. So we've had that happen many times, and that gets us some attention.
Yeah, and to add to that, like on the Discord, we do a lot of where we handle the crowdfunding and proposals. And Rhubarb is our big media guru. He knows all about
He's
branding
great.
and marketing. He's amazing, and he does some great images. Everything you see in images that involves Kaspa is probably from Rhubarb. He actually is drafting up a proposal now. I was trying to get him in to speak, but I don't know if he fell offline or what. But he is drafting a proposal, and that should be dropping sometime soon. And we're trying to actually get like a proposal for this marketing to crowdfund for funds, and then allocate those funds to where we think the priorities need to be for outreach. I know that the traffic has been getting a lot better with people donating content. Like we got a YouTube video today that was actually really great. It was a really good analytical video. And I forgot his name. I think it's Kyle, right? Maybe. I think Kyle put a
that's right.
video on. Yeah, and it was actually really good. He was actually in the Discord researching for a couple days, and I thought he was just looking to purchase, and it turned out he was making this this analysis of Kaspa for his YouTube, and it turned out amazing.
Nice.
And then of course, like we got like articles increasing and stuff like that. Like the user base is contributing more and more as we spread out, but hopefully we can get more into that marketing with this proposal.
Yeah, and props to you, by the way, for doing Medium. Like went like 0 to 100 in like 2 weeks. We have like 24 articles or something.
Yeah, I'm trying to get one out a day at least.
Good job.
Thanks, man. Okay, so I don't have any more speakers in the list. If anybody wants to speak, here's the last call. I could probably fit one more in. So I'll give it
Sounds
like a second
fair.
or two. Yeah, I'll give it a few seconds. If nobody wants to speak, that's cool. We can wrap it up here. But if you want to speak, it's last call.
Don't be shy. We only bite on
shy.
Tuesdays and Thursdays between 9 and 12 in the morning.
Oh, no, not Bryce is coming back. He hit up first.
He's back in the ring to take another swing.
Hey, man.
The answer you gave me there, Bubblegum Lightning. Cheers for that. And
oh yeah, sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I like dropped everything for a second on the Twitter Spaces.
it's okay. It's okay. I get it. I was boring. It's okay. I just wanted to say though that video. I think I found it. I posted it there in the comments for everyone to enjoy.
Oh, awesome,
neat,
man.
Cool, man.
Cheers, everyone. Have a great
thanks
weekend.
a lot. Yeah, you
too. Hey, that was solid.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, you guys. It's going to be time to hit the road here.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, man. Well, thanks for doing this AMA and giving us your time. Really
My
appreciate
pleasure.
it. And if you guys want to see stuff like this, like on a regular scale, if you liked the way I did it and how it was presented or whatever, we can do this regularly. We'll fill out like demand if it's going to be like weekly or bi-weekly. And it could be Twitter Spaces or Discord, whatever you guys want. Twitter Spaces was the goal today for outreach. But yeah, that's going to sum it up. Everybody have a good night, day, evening, wherever you're at. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side.
It's a deal. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Have a great weekend. Take care.
Later.
Bye-bye.